All right.
So, I guess I'm going to start with something. Hey, you want me to start with
I see you're repping the Chargers.
Yeah.
The fun thing is, I was gonna wear my Raiders jersey.
There's a reason why I'm repping the Chargers right now.
Why is that?
We're talking about EVs.
You know, it's funny.
Lightning.
You know,
Get
it's
it?
funny you say that because we're going to talk about EVs. It's funny that they're Chargers and they lost at NRG Stadium.
No, stop.
Yes.
I don't want to talk about
So
that.
they lost their charge.
They're gonna recharge next season.
Recharge.
Okay, they're gonna recharge. We're gonna come back. By the way, I'm more so. Remember, I'm just a recently inducted fan.
Yeah.
I've never followed the Chargers. Always picked them when I was playing video games, like Madden NFL 02, because I love their colors. But the only reason why I'm there a fan is because we went to the game.
Yeah. No, that was
in Cali. So
that was a fun experience.
My first football game. Anyways, yeah. So I'm repping the lightning bolt now because we're gonna be talking about EVs.
All right, that's I like that. I should start doing stuff like that too.
What car did you come here in?
The Toyota RAV4.
Toyota RAV4.
Yes.
Using gas?
Yes.
How was that experience like?
Just got in the car, started it, drove here.
Yeah? Did you have to warm up the car and stuff?
Well, typically you should warm up every car, like regardless.
Did you warm up your car?
It was already warmed.
Okay.
Yeah, already warmed.
And you didn't stop at the gas station at all?
No, I had gas in it.
Got it. How much gas do you have in it now?
I think I have like 120 or 30 miles of range right now.
And how many degrees is it outside?
I think last I checked was like 230. It was snowing when I was walking up here.
230?
20 or 30. I think it was like around 30, but it was snowing, so I want to say it's less than 30 degrees.
The reason why I'm asking is because as an EV owner, when it's brick outside like this,
yeah,
I get range anxiety. And
range what?
Range anxiety.
Oh, range anxiety. Yeah, because you guys have to calculate the energy to put in the car, and the range can't get in, or you can't get the... Like, no, the car's using electricity for other things, not just solely the range. That's where you're getting anxiety?
Because the battery decreases faster when it's cold out. That's why.
I thought you guys had the that new like heating pump or whatever. I thought that was supposed to reduce.
Yeah, we do. Yeah, it probably makes it more efficient, but
okay,
still a factor. It's still not as efficient than when it's warm up.
No, that makes sense.
Which goes into what we're going to talk about today. So, I came up with a few questions. We can kind of go from there.
Okay.
Sort of. All right, with your experience now, and we talked a little bit about this last time. You know, what do you think's going to be the state of our transportation system regarding vehicles, right? Like cars.
I wanted to say teleportation devices, but you said cars. Dang.
Yeah. So later,
you drive your car in a teleportation device.
That would be dumb. That's like having a robot drive for you. Just have the car drive for you.
No, it's like you drive your car in a teleportation device, right? And you're in like a different country and you still have your car. So how's that dumb?
Oh, I thought you were saying drive your car to a teleportation device.
Well, no, you would drive your car
park there.
Oh, no, you drive your car through it.
Got it. Okay. If you can bring the car with you, okay.
Yeah.
So, what do you think some of the advancements are going to be regarding transportation technology? So let's just get out of EVs.
Okay, just in general, you're saying.
Yeah. So we have right now most of the cars out there are gas powered cars.
Yeah.
What do you think's going to happen in like 10 years?
I want to say a few things, but I think it depends on the market, or it depends on the demand these companies put, right?
Wait,
I feel what?
Demand from the customers.
Demand, they push a demand, right? Like, oh, you guys need to have this thing, right? Or the customers, all of us collectively are like, oh, you know what? We actually love the infrastructure you built so far. And we actually just want to go with, you know, anything but petroleum or gas-powered cars. Because I don't know. I think the infrastructure right now is the biggest, like, like nay
Hurdle.
for people. Yeah, the biggest hurdle for like most people. Like, oh well, when I drive and I do road trips, I can't. I just go fill in gas and I drive away. Like, yes, that is very convenient, right? And then also there's the arguments I've heard people say like, oh well, you know how much pollution's made by mining those batteries. It's like, yeah, but I mean, then again, like pollution's made with other things we do as well, right?
With
Like
everything, pretty much.
everything, like I think they did some metric about like how much pollution is caused by making a hamburger. And it goes back all the way to the cow that's used for that, because the cow's like breathing oxygen and everything and producing carbon.
So everything's linked to it.
Yeah, so I'm not sure if that's really the best argument. But that being said, I feel like if we do innovations well enough, I do see EV or non-gas powered cars taking off in the future. I think there was a small hurdle when they first kind of were announced, like way back in the day. Because people are like, oh, that's a cool fad, like that's a cool like one-off thing. But now like now you have Tesla, you have Rivian, you have Lucid, right? And those are all exclusively like electric cars, right? But then you also have like Mercedes making their only like they have a line where it's only electric, you know. BMW has a few electric cars. I think Toyota's been doing some, funding in that as well. I know Mazda has an electric car that has a diesel. It was a diesel or gas generator that powers the electric battery, which I think is interesting. So, I think to answer your question, I think we have a promising future in terms of going away from petroleum-based vehicles. I know that was kind of a rant, but I feel like I have to say all that.
What do you think is the state of the transportation system, though? As far as, do you think in 10 years we're going to be mostly hybrid, mostly EV, mostly gas still?
In 10 years, do I think that it's going to be gas, EV, or hybrid?
Mostly.
I think, if anything, to say the least, I think it would be hybrid. I do see a lot of companies opting in for a hybrid car where they're like, oh, we made our car, it's electric plug-in hybrid that uses gas as well. So those people that are like, oh, I just want to go on my road trip and fill in gas and go. Yeah, you can do that still. You also have the, luxury of charging it when you want to. So yeah, if anything, I do see hybrids coming out in the market. As well as like reliability or maintenance, all that stuff goes, that's like a whole nother topic.
Yeah.
But I think in terms of like...
So 10 years, mostly hybrid.
Yeah.
Do you think, let's say, like in the long run, it's going to be EVs though? And in the short run, it's going to be gas?
Well, I don't know, because I know Toyota was looking into doing like hydrogen cell cars. So who knows? Like, is it going to be fully like electric that we're going to be going into? Is it going to be like hydrogen cell cars we're going to be going into? I don't have the answer to that. I don't even.
I know we don't.
Well, I don't have. I can't speculate that. Well, I can't speculate.
Well, why not?
Though.
I mean, I'll say my thing. I think in the short run it's going to be gas. I think in the middle ground to get us to EVs is going to be the hybrid. I think you may see, right now, like when we rented our car in Cali, like what, 75 miles worth of range, and then the rest was gas.
Yeah. Something like that.
Even if we have like a tiered approach where you go from mostly it being the gas to mostly it being the EV, the battery. Yeah. I could even see like a midterm future like that. Yeah. And then eventually we get to EVs. I think we need to make that journey, by the way, because one, I know this is a controversial thing for some reason, but there's only a finite amount of gas in the world. Yeah. Right? So if you think about 50 years from now, 100 years from now, I think they said around 48 years is the amount of time we have left for all the oil in the world. Yeah. Which sounds really low. Sounds like around the corner. But even if you take that away, let's say it's 98 years. I think we still want to make the transition to EV because it has a lot more benefits than people realize. Think about a world where there are no gas stations. Think about the cubic square footage of gas stations across the world, right? There's a gas station at every corner. It's too much. And if you think about, let's the same analogy with like parking lots, right?
Yeah.
There's so much of this space that's like
Unused.
It's not utilized 365 days of the year. I mean, gas stations are, but we could put something better there than a gas station. We can put something better there than a parking lot. That's why I think the cyber cab is going to do away with parking lots, and I think EVs are going to do away with gas stations. You're going to have large centers where you can charge and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And hopefully, like, that electricity is coming through via solar in a lot of ways, right?
Yeah.
But when you're not there, you're at your house charging in your garage off of solar, hopefully, as well. You plug in, you go in your car every day at 100%, and you're off to the races. I think that's the long-term benefit. I think we should be not going to gas stations more than we are now.
Well, I feel like if you were like take out gas, you're still gonna be going somewhere to charge your car.
I think it'll be less of those.
It's gonna be called a charging station. I think. I mean, I like what you said. Actually, it was interesting. I never thought of like the real estate we occupy right now with gas stations, right? Because like if you think about like little rest stops, they're pretty big in size, but if you take away the gas station portion of it, you don't need as much space now, right? So that's pretty interesting.
Think about like in New York. Look at the skyline, right?
Yeah.
Think of all these huge buildings. And then you got this 2-story gas station. Right? Think about the amount of homes you can build on top of that gas station.
Yeah.
You know? And like, for me, that's a more efficient use of the square footage in the floor.
Yeah.
And then even, vertically.
Well, let me ask you this though: do you think we have enough energy to provide energy for all those people's cars that we're charging in the future?
We're gonna have to. This goes back to my main point.
Yeah.
We can't rely on fossil fuels for that.
Yeah.
We need to have electricity, or we need to have some form of something where we're taking it from the sun. That's the only.
We need a fusion reactor. That's what we need.
Okay. Anyways, probably.
But back to the question you asked me, I think I agree with you. I'm not, like I said, I'm not sure if it's going to be EV or if it's going to be hydrogen. What I can probably say for sure, we are definitely going to be away or rid of gasoline. As much as that pains me to say, it's going to suck not being able to hear the roar of an engine. And there are probably going to be people that, modify their cars in like 100 years from now, right? Where they're able to use some sort of like oil, like grease fuel or something, to run their cars. Just for like those people that like to be, like car guys, right? Like they're like, oh, I still have a gas powered car just to remember the old days, like how we have antique cars now, right? So I think we're going to see that with gas powered cars in the future. But I definitely think not just in terms of cars, I think us, like our day-to-day lives need to be like redefined in terms of like what type of energy we use, where it comes from, and hopefully
do you think people should be more mindful of their carbon footprint?
I think, yeah. I mean,
well, because you have a whole host of people that say climate change isn't real. What I do is insignificant compared to the rest of people around me.
Yeah.
Or even what companies are doing, or even what like people like in China are doing, right? No, they don't care about it. They don't care about a clean energy future.
Yeah.
So I think that's still a controversial
thing. I think that's a dumb way to look at it. It's like, well, other people could do it. It's like, okay, but like, why are you waiting for someone else to do something, right? If you don't see someone else, it's like that one. It's like pay it forward, right? Just be kind, just be nice, right? Yeah, people, teach you those type of mannerisms, like, just smile. That just one smile will change someone's day, right? So it's not like I'm advocating or anyone else is advocating that, like, oh, turn off everything, don't use any electric at all. Like, no, just turn off, like unplug your PC or something. I mean, obviously, I don't do that. I'll be honest. My plug's all the way in the back of the desk. It's annoying.
That messes your computer up.
Yeah, no, that exactly. But I guess like smaller things, right? I feel like if you start small, it's gonna have a huge it's gonna compound on other people's effort as well. It's gonna be a huge effort.
I think it's as simple as what you said, and a little bit of the golden rule. Who are the top EV companies do you think that are gonna dominate when we come through that EV revolution? So like you said, you mentioned a lot already.
Okay,
BMW,
okay,
Volkswagen,
okay. So
Mercedes,
this is the
Tesla,
thing.
Rivian,
I
Lucid.
don't think. I should say I don't think. What I want to see innovation, right?
Who do you think are the
I
companies?
no. This is the thing because I want to say Tesla. I want to say Tesla, but I don't think it will be Tesla. And the reason I
Really?
say that is because like these big companies like BMW, Toyota, Mercedes, Ford, these companies are part of either they race in NASCAR or they race in F1, right? A lot of the things that they try in racing, they bring into production vehicles, right?
Mm-hmm.
And it may not be like huge things, but like think about like trickle down economics, right? They try these really big innovations in F1, right? And if it makes sense, they're like, we could bring this fuel efficiency into our cars, or we could bring this type of technology into our cars for, cooling systems, whatever, right? So that's like their big testing playground, right? They have Formula E. I would like for me, I don't know why Elon Musk hasn't put his cars in Formula E because you could test out battery range. You could test out the maximum performance of your cars. Like that's literally your playground. He shouldn't care about like, oh, I want to win. I mean, that would be nice because then not only you're proving, oh, your car, your brand is the one that's winning, but also you're bringing this into your everyday cars, right? Which would be nice. But I think he needs to do something like that. I want to see like Teslas in races. I want to see them in Formula E.
You know that they put like the Model S in a track with other gas cars. I think like with a Porsche 911 and stuff.
No, but
And the Tesla beat.
no, that's fine. But put it against other electric cars. I want to see endurance.
I would love to see a Model S versus a Lucid, like Lucid Sapphire.
I
Gravity.
want to see them doing endurance races with EVs. They could test out their cooling system for their batteries. They can test out how long their batteries last. They can test out rapid charging systems. Because sometimes I remember I was watching like an EV race a while back, and the guy parked his car in and then got into another car and drove that. Like he was pitting in, right? He's pitting in the pit stop and then got in. Obviously, he can't charge his car. It's gonna take a while for it. So they have another car that's already fully charged. So like Tesla can figure out something like, oh hey, how about let's come out with like a battery pack where you just boom boom put a new battery in, or we come out with some
I like
rapid
that.
like that's what I'm saying. And it's not just Tesla. I feel like I'm attacking Tesla too much, but I feel like EV makers should go into races for that R&D because you're going with the other manufacturers, other people like McLaren's in Formula E, right? When you do that, you have you're racing with you're not I should say racing as in actual racing, but like you're running towards innovation with other manufacturers as well. Because say you and our EV makers we're in Formula E, right? I want to win the season, right? How do I do that? What innovations do I do to my technology, to my battery power, to all this stuff, right? And then on the other hand, like, oh cool, like, oh I figured out how to save batteries, regeneration by like X amount of percentage, right? Let's try to bring this into our road power cars for like everyday consumers, right? That's the innovation I want to see. Which is what you see from Toyota.
They did that too.
Toyota does that. Mercedes does that. BMW's done that, right? A lot of cars' origins are from these other type of races, whether it be like a rally race.
So,
but yeah.
So you don't think that Tesla is going to be leading because they're not in Formula One?
Because I don't see them pushing their cars to the limit.
So Rivian's also not in Formula One.
Yep.
Lucid's also not in Formula One.
Yep. It
But
doesn't
there
matter.
still has to be someone crowned as the winner of EVs.
You could be the
Who's
first
it
to
gonna be?
something. You could be the first to something, but doesn't mean you'd be the best at it, right? So yeah, Tesla, they came out real strong with EVs. The market caught up. You have other manufacturers that are making EV as well, right?
So you're saying someone else besides Tesla, besides the ones that are leading now,
Yeah.
if they put their cars in the
I
Formula
would
One,
I would put my money in Toyota. I would put my money in Toyota for
you
electric.
think Toyota is gonna lead EVs?
Yeah. 100%. I would say either Toyota or maybe maybe either Mercedes or BMW
Because they're in Formula One.
No, not because they're in Formula One. Because they understand the necessity of testing out their cars. You doing one little track race. What?
All these dealerships,
Yes.
all these manufacturers test out their cars.
Yes, but who's really putting it to the test? The endurance.
You're saying like lapping, like laps
I'm
around
saying,
a track.
I'm saying, put your car to the max overdrive, and that's how you learn. And that's how you
But-
know
but-
the limitations of your car.
But listen, I think
Yeah.
I'd argue and say, what about the other dimensions of someone who wants a quote unquote good car? What about how it performs in the snow? How it performs in extreme heat? I think those are factors too that you're not going to get from Formula One.
No, but you let me finish the other thing. I was saying earlier. You said okay. You went on another question. There's manufacturers that have been in rally races, which test out off-roading capabilities. Whether it's a rally race that's in a snow, right, or if it's in a desert. Manufacturers do that. Like a Hyundai, they're in rally and they race all around the world. Whether it's like a desert track or it's a snow track, right? So what I'm saying is, I like the fact these manufacturers are putting their cars to the limit, right? You need to know what's wrong or what you can improve on. Like, oh wow, our car actually performs really well in snowy environments. This is really cool. Let's build onto this.
But you're saying the only way to test it is through racing?
Well, you have higher competition because you're racing with other manufacturers as well, or other manufacturers sponsoring their cars for those things as well.
But I mean, I think like for me, I don't care. I want a good car that not necessarily beats people in races. Maybe I want like a luxurious, good handling.
Toyota's won 5 of the Le Mans races in the past, like what, 5-6 years, and it was a hybrid car that they were using.
Listen,
if that doesn't tell me I should buy a Toyota, I don't know what will.
Listen, like think about the comfort level in a Volvo, right? Or the safety in a Volvo. Right?
Yeah,
it's unmatched. The technology in the Tesla could be something that I say makes it a good car, not how it performs in rallies. So I get the wanting to test your car to the fullest extent, but I don't think that's only gonna be if you do a Formula One race or rally races. I think there are other ways. Like there's a video of Tesla's that was published by Tesla where they went through like and are doing like skids and turns in Alaska or something like that. I don't know where it was. You can test those things at extreme temperatures and test comfort and test the technology of a car without having to put it in a race.
Well, no, what I'm saying is you get those issues come across faster, right? You're doing one small test 100 times, right? But what happens if the car is put under extreme stress and you're doing that same thing, right? What if the car is put under extreme heat, wear and tear in the snow because you're driving it a lot in a lap and you have to do this maneuver and everything like that. Like that's what I'm saying. Like it's not just you're doing that one test a bunch of times and you're testing in the snow and everything like that. It's also like the other factors because we're not just driving a car in a controlled setting. We're driving a car in the real world. There's lots of things that go on where we're driving. Maybe the weather changes, this and that, right? How does the car perform with that? I'm not saying necessarily that like, oh, because they're winning F1, I'm going to go buy their car. Or if they're winning in rally or whatever, I'm going to buy their car. What I'm saying is that those innovations slowly do trickle down to the consumer car, right? What I'm saying is I like the fact that they're testing out ideas and it goes into their cars, right? If you want to have an EV and
That's what other companies are doing too.
Yes,
they're testing out ideas and putting it in their cars.
Yes, but what I'm saying is,
you're saying that doing it at a F1 or
like
rally
with racing in general,
will significantly reduce the R&D time.
Exactly, because you have to come up with innovations fast. Like, say you 1 week you're like, oh crap, like, this didn't work out. We gotta innovate like this new component to make it faster for the next race, right? You're having R&D come out faster and faster and faster, right? Now that going into the car, I'm not like I can't speak to how fast that'll happen, right? I don't know about that. What I'm saying is you're still having that innovation come out faster than it would be like you're collecting data over years,
Interesting because I feel like Tesla when they came in as an EV, like of course, they're around since like 2013 or whatever. I think that's when the first Roadster was out. I'm not sure.
Yeah.
I think as of like the last 5 years, Tesla has totally uprooted the legacy car makers. in terms of technology.
100%.
If you think about it, we were coasting with cars. Like cars
Yeah.
had the worst technology in it. It was the same iteration year after year with a new body.
Yep. I agree.
Tesla came in. They were like, "Listen, we're gonna build a supercharger network. We're gonna do over-the-air updates so that you'll
Yep.
get new software UI updates or whatever. We're gonna, we have this regenerative braking. I don't know if they invented it, but we're gonna have regenerative braking so that like it's one pedal driving. You
Yeah.
put your foot on the accelerator and let go. None of these were thought of by these legacy
agree.
car companies. So ironically so, you would think that in these Formula One or rallies that these legacy manufacturers have, that they maybe think to innovate more and do things like that. Even think about like the keyless entry.
Yeah.
And the not like, okay, yeah, you had push to start, but Tesla said no button. They
Yeah.
oh, and not only that, full self driving in the car as well.
Yeah.
I've named like 4 or 5 innovations right there that one company did
Yeah.
better than every automaker.
Yeah.
So I feel like the automotive industry has been coasting for years.
No,
Coasting, and it took the newcomer to come in and shake things up. I think if Tesla coasts now, you're gonna have another EV company. I'm hoping it's a new person on the block.
Yeah.
I'm hoping it's like a Rivian
Yeah.
that comes in and says, "We're gonna out innovate. We're gonna be even more rapid than
Yeah.
what Tesla was doing,
Yeah.
and then shake things up as well." And then you're gonna see, because Nissan, Honda, and Toyota. No, not Toyota. Nissan, Honda, and what was the third one? No, just Nissan, Honda. We're planning on merging.
Yes. I remember you talking about that.
So they're doing that not out of strength, but out of desperation.
Yeah. To add on to your point, no, I completely agree with you. Yeah, you have to bring they disrupted the market. Like, look how frantically like I feel like in the past 2 years maybe that's when like manufacturers finally got the hold of like, oh, we have a plug-in hybrids or we have like full EV car models as well. It took them a while to catch up, right? And I agree with you, like what they're offering you for a low price, like the big screen and everything. Like people were like, why aren't we having nice things in our car? Right? Why are you guys giving us the same like dull interior, this and that, right? Maybe a body change after 3 years. Like I'm glad they changed up the game. I totally I love them for that. I'm like, yes, finally we have change. But what I'm saying now though is that the manufacturers have caught up now, right? A lot of cars have
they?
I feel like a lot of cars have really nice interiors now. They're offering like I'm not, my argument isn't that like, oh, what you're getting for the dollar in this manufacturer you're getting the same as in a Tesla, right? What I'm saying is though, like now you have like all these amenities and features. Most for the most part, a lot of these cars offer it, right? But what I'm saying now is like for them to stay like innovative, like they already disrupted the market because they did things that other cars weren't doing, right? And there was like really easy or simple things to that. They're like, oh well, these cars, like why are we entering with a key? Why don't we do it like this? Or why are we pushing a button, right? So they're like, oh, let's fix these things up and release our car. Great. But now it's like, okay, now everyone's at par now. How do you do your innovation? What are you going to do now, right? And that's what I'm saying with the racing or with putting your car in endurance tests like that, because it's like, oh, we figured out that we can get more fuel efficiency by doing this, and we saw it in our races. Let's bring this back here, right? That's how you're going to have the next iteration of innovation for any car, whether it be a Tesla, a Rivian, Lucid, whoever else, Toyota, like whoever else. That's your next level of innovation.
Why do you think there's been sort of this, I guess they call it the elbow curve or the hockey stick effect of EVs now, where you saw this sharp rise in sales, Tesla selling big, Rivian selling big. Rivian was like the number one premium selling car in California. Why is it now that it's starting to taper off and heading downwards? The growth isn't as strong as what people predicted.
From what I think, it's because, I mean, I gotta applaud Tesla. The prices on those cars are amazing, right? Low barrier to entry. All right, cool. Yeah, I'll buy a Tesla. I want to buy a new car anyways, right? Let's buy a Tesla. You have a lot of people buying them, but I don't think the infrastructure, I don't think is fully there yet, right? You have some places where you're waiting in line to charge your car, right? And then also the issue, I guess, also becomes some apartment complexes aren't new, right? They weren't built recently, so they don't have charging ports there, right? Some people don't want to install one in their house, right? There's all those type things as well. I think that's why people are stalled.
So it's only related to charging.
That's what I think it is. I mean, Tesla did the right thing. They reduced their prices, right? Like I said, low barrier to entry. But now everyone has a Tesla. You go to a charging station, it's like, oh, now I gotta wait in line to charge my car. And now everyone's using a charge. The charging time is even slower now, right?
So, well, why does that may relate to why people are selling their Teslas? But you think that impacts new car purchases? You think
I think it depends on where you live too. Like if like I heard in California, like people are waiting like long lines to charge their Tesla because like everyone has one there, right? And they don't have the infrastructure enough to support all those cars and all those chargers and everything, right? I think it depends on where you live. Maybe some states there's not that many EVs, so you have
okay. You're talking about charging infrastructure. I get it. But you're saying when a customer goes to buy a Tesla versus buying, BMW or a new Toyota, you're saying, the charging infrastructure is not there for a Tesla, so I'm not going to buy one. Is that what you're saying?
I have a good answer for that. Were you not looking at that when you were buying your first EV? I remember you were looking at BMW EVs and you said, "Hey, their innovation or their network runs on like I forgot what you were telling me about. Like, oh, this looks very promising." You were looking at that. So my argument is, I think yes. When people make any, I mean, with gas power cars, who really thinks about like, oh, where's the nearest gas station, right? We don't have that issue because we have plenty of them. I feel like that's only like a nuanced thing now because we have electric cars, right? Like, oh wait, where's the closest charging station? How much is it going to cost me to put in my house, right? All these.
So why was there a spike in the beginning then? So people
I guess it's the hype. It was probably the hype.
Weren't looking at. Okay, so the hype was driving. Okay, so hype was driving it in the beginning.
Yeah.
And then people had the realizations of owning an EV, such as the infrastructure network.
Maybe the whole snow thing you're telling me about, like, you know, in cold weather, like it impacts range.
Yeah, I don't know if you saw Chicago when there was like a crazy blizzard that hit there. Batteries were just draining like crazy, and then people like I guess it was so cold the superchargers weren't working. Yeah, it was terrible. You just saw a bunch of Model 3s just stuck and having to be towed everywhere.
There was this issue I saw that people would talk about on TikTok. I'm not a Tesla owner, so I never really experienced it or really, you know, but it was about like there's like a battery that goes out, but you don't get a notification that's it's dead. But when this battery dies, like there's no way for you to turn on your car, get in your car, or anything like that. And it's like the easiest, simplest like solutions. You just change the little battery out, but like there's no software update or there's no like ping on your phone like, oh hey, change this battery out. And I feel like I've seen a few videos on like that on TikTok, and I remember people were like, oh, I hate Teslas, blah 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 blah.
Isn't that the same with a regular gas car? If your battery dies, you can't start a gas
all I'm
car?
saying is this is what people have been saying on the internet. So I'm saying maybe this is also another reason why people are like, yo, this is a you know high technology car. They couldn't figure out like to give me a ping or a notification, change this battery, right?
Got it.
Maybe they have to go to work. Maybe something important came up. They have to be somewhere. That's their only mode of transportation. You know,
I think my opinion about this decline is I think EVs have been too politicized. So think about like, and again, this I can talk about Tesla, but I'll just talk about EVs. Think about like what you said before about I like hearing the roar of the engine.
Mm-hmm.
I think that's sort of a more nostalgic conservative mindset, if you will, right? A lot of people are resistant to abandon the old ways of doing things, and including that on that long list is abandoning the gas powered engine for a battery because America was built off we created the first car
Yeah.
First, it was built off gas, and we don't, older folk don't want to abandon the history behind like how America was built in that way and how America innovated on the gas vehicle. And so incentivizing EVs too much is like a betrayal of our history, or
Really?
that's what they think, right? It's like,
How?
because if we start replacing the population of gas powered cars with EVs, we're gonna see the gas powered vehicle sales decline more,
Okay.
and people are gonna have to learn how to work on EVs again.
But that's
it's sort
part of
of a cultural
innovation.
thing. Oh, I agree, and I'm like,
That's
listen, we have to adapt or die.
that's the same with computers. They were the size of rooms.
But computers, right? It's actually similar history, right? Really made in America, right? The chip, everything. But the sense of cultural pride in a computer isn't the same as the sense of cultural pride in historical context as a car, right? You see, your nuclear family, your dad, he would, go to work, gas powered car, whatever, or that good old mechanic who fixed his own car, changed his own oil, changed his own brakes, like you, right? they like that, the hands-on kind of getting, like, lifting the hood of their engine, taking everything apart, or even replacing the windshield washer fluid, right? That's what I think conservatives are scared of. Is we're losing that identity.
Can I ask you a question?
Hmm.
Do you think there was this much of an uproar when we went from like horse and wagons to the first car?
No, I mean, yeah. I honestly I bet it was like,
I
hey,
miss my horse.
there's a whole clip that me and my mom were watching. It was like people were talking about how like they're trying to ban drinking while driving.
Yeah.
And it's like, oh, that's so anti-American. I work a good 10 hours a day at work, and I want to come home and have a beer, right? And I want to drive home while having it. And it's those things that, like, you have this big resistance period where it's like, oh, wait, push back. But then when the policy starts to set in, and you start seeing people dying off of drinking and driving, I think we become more accepted, more attuned to it.
Yeah.
So I think it's been politicized. I think you're seeing like the when you think of the typical Tesla driver, everyone has their own persona in mind. It's like either the IT guy or the wimp or the white collar professional who is has a stick up their own butt.
Yeah.
And they think they're on top of the world or whatever, and they think it's whatever. And then you think of the gas powered car, it's the red pickup truck, this good old American who works at a farm or works in manufacturing. Again, I think that's why it's been sort of the EV sales has dipped. That, along with like, if you think about, like, in terms of Tesla, Elon picked a side, right? He said, hey, I'm Team Trump, and you just alienated a whole bunch of Democrats, anti-Trumpers, whatever you want to call it. They're like, I don't want to support that guy who was worth $400 billion anyway.
Yeah.
I don't want to support that machine. I don't want to get behind it. And it was funny. I read an article. They're equating, like, the Tesla car to, like, a MAGA hat.
Really?
And it's like, uh-oh. Like, if you see someone with a solid red hat on, you, like, do a double take, like, oh, was that a MAGA hat? Like, it's been so politicized for not a good reason. Because I think, honestly, it's like us holding back quantum computing or AI. It's like, no, this is something that is going to come. It's going to disrupt things. But we need to embrace it. We don't need to push it away because one person's on one side versus the other.
The funny thing is, you said red hat. My friend got me a red hat when he went to San Francisco. It was like some tech conference. And Red Hat is a software company. And the hat is red and it says red hat. I cannot wear that outside. Because not that I'm afraid. I'm just I just know I'm gonna get people coming up to me and like double take, like, wait, what's this hat say? Like red hat? Is that like, people that don't know what red hat is, right? They're like, what is that, right? I just thought that was funny. I want to say something about the politicizing thing real quick. But before I say that, I wanted to ask you this question. I had locked and loaded before you brought that up. Just like with the resistance towards, I shouldn't say resistance. A lot of people thought that the internet was just a fad. It wasn't going to take off, right? Do you see that with EV, one? And two, do you see EV or us divorcing ourselves from gasoline powered cars take off and be in the space as the internet is now?
I think it is not going to be a fad.
Mm-hmm.
I think most things are going to be electrified.
Mm-hmm.
Trains, cars, airplanes, hopefully. I don't know. Who knows?
I don't know about that.
Listen, I think we're going to find a way. Watching another YouTube video about a guy named Optic Hex. He owns Optic Gaming. He said it's anything in the world can be solved. Right?
Yeah.
It's just someone's got to go out and solve it. And Elon, think about like when people assume a certain level of innovation, right? Mm-hmm. Oh, we're just gonna eventually get better at everything. We're gonna get better at space exploration. Go to the moon and back like it's going on the highway, stuff like that. But there's got to be people out there actually going towards it, right? There's got to be investment in a lot of these research areas. I think EVs are still relatively new. I think it's still something that people are not taking as serious, just mm-hmm. like with quantum computing, just mm-hmm. like with AI now. Yeah. People do not see the benefits yet. I think when we live in a world where it's 100% EV, 100% full self-driving, mm-hmm. we're going to see less accidents. We're going to see less friction in travel. You're going to see, think about, like I said, eliminate parking lots, eliminate all this wasted real estate. We're probably going to need, single lanes for most things. Cars are going to be so efficient, they're going to be able to drive, inches between each other. You just hop in, hop out. Mm-hmm. I can imagine, again, if you exaggerate a little bit and you think about the future, maybe 100 mm-hmm. years from now, traveling with cars is going to mm-hmm. be completely revamped. So, mm-hmm. EV's not a fad. It's not going to be like the internet. It's going to be like the internet where people are not going to realize that it's so significant until mm-hmm. it's too late.
Yeah.
And I'm hoping there's gonna be a lot more companies too.
I'm having troubles. Wow, that's horrible. I'm having trouble understanding what you mean by parking lot. What do you mean by having less parking lots?
Think about it. And this is what Elon said, or what Tesla said in their Cybercab thing. Why do we use parking lots?
To park our cars.
Right? Yeah. Why do we park our cars?
Because we got to our destination, we walk into the place.
What if your car just drives home? Instead of leaving the car at the place that you're at?
I wouldn't want to wait for my car to come back, though.
Let's say your event ends at 6:30, and it's a 30-minute drive. Your car will know that your event ends at 6:30, and it's going to mm-hmm. leave at 6, and going to be there right when you're ready to get out. You're thinking like someone who first saw the internet and was like, "Wait, I can't digitize all my paperwork yet."
Yeah. No. I'm picturing that, but what I'm thinking of is obviously you're gonna have people say "Oh, well, what if I go to the mall and instead of spending an hour there, I actually only spend 20 minutes there, but my car is home now. It takes me half an hour to get to the mall. What about then? What would you say to people like that?
Wait, so you go to the mall.
Say you're like, oh, I'm going to be at the mall for an hour because it's going to take me an hour mm-hmm. to find jeans or something. Mm-hmm. You walk in, 20 minutes, you got jeans, and now your car's already home, but it takes you 30 minutes to get there. And now you got to wait,
Okay.
What do you say to people like that?
You're thinking of the ultimate edge case. Your car just won't
Just as a...
Your car will know, or like if you say, "Oh yeah, I'm gonna be here for an hour or 2 hours,
Yeah.
or whatever, 30 minutes," your car's not gonna leave.
Yeah, no, I know, I agree. I'm saying there are gonna be people that are gonna think that way.
Or your car is gonna go to the nearest charger wherever you are.
See that that's smart. I think that's smart. But then, don't you think you would need more? You need to have a better road infrastructure because now you're having that car be on the road twice as much, right? As well as other cars that are doing that as well. Like, yeah, sure, you can reduce the parking lot space by like half now, but now you have cars on the road at all time. So there's gonna be more wear and tear, right? We on the roads. There's gonna be more wear and tear on on asphalt roads and stuff. So that's like, how do you tackle that, right? Towns are gonna be like, oh, we have so many cars on the road, and we have to replace it, even more than we had to before because these cars are keep driving. They're dropping their owners off and going back home and charging or going to a charging thing, right? They're just constantly on the road. Do you think that would be an issue?
No, that's a good point. I don't think it's gonna be an issue. I think that's something where, one, I think we have more road than parking spots.
Mm-hmm.
So let's just take every car that's parked right now and put it on the road.
Mm-hmm.
I think we'll still be good, right? The only thing is, remember, if we have full self-driving cars, like I said, 100% EV, 100% battery charged, and 100% full self-driving cars. You don't have to drive a car anymore.
Yeah.
Cars are going to be networked so that each car will know where the other is on the road.
Yeah.
And the minute, the minute you leave your car or you leave to go into the mall, your car is going to automatically know its destination and the best way to get there, which lanes are congested or not. It's going to account for satellite images and congestion and whatever and make the right decisions. It's not going to, I don't think that cars are going to be on the road that much anyway. Because like I said, it's not like you're just driving all around while you're waiting for the person. You're just quickly driving to the charger or quickly driving back home, and then you're coming back.
Two things. I think what we should do is we shouldn't completely get rid of parking lots. But have a reduced size so you can sit in your car oh, hey, go get charged and then come back here at the mall, right? So I think that's interesting. Your car drove you to the mall, you go do your shopping, whatever, car's going charged, come back, you have a full battery, go drive home, whatever like that. But what I think is interesting is the full self-driving. If we get everyone, and this is a hypothetical world scenario, right? If we get everyone in a car that self-drives and they are not behind the wheel at all, they're just on their phone or whatever, I do see huge reduction in accidents because now the human ego is out of the equation. Oh, that person cut me off, I gotta teach him a lesson. This person's racing me, I have to go faster than them. Oh, he has a lame car, why is he trying to speed up? Let me show him how to really. You can take that out. You're relaxing. The car's oh, this car needs to go in. Cool. All right, cool. Hey, I'm slowing down because there's a car coming in up ahead, so you slow down as well. And it just passes the message back. Hey, slow down by X amount of velocity, right? Oh, keep this much velocity because this is what we're going in, right? I think when you have a network like that, I would 100% back it.
And there's not going to be traffic anymore, right?
Yeah.
Traffic is because there's a human element.
100%.
And that's part of what I'm saying about this future in 100 years. You're going to have cars going 100 miles an hour being inches apart.
Yeah. Look at NASCAR, how they're, just...
Yeah.
Right? Because
automatic by robots.
Yeah.
And not only that, let me break your brain on this one. Let me break the conservative mind out of you. Because this is going to blow your mind. I don't think we're all going to have cars in the future.
Teleportation.
No. Oh. A little less.
Well, you'll all be working from home?
Everything's going to be an Uber. Why even have a car if everything's going to be automated? You don't have to worry about driving or owning this. You're going to just... Actually... It's going to be either mass transit on a train, and then in between, going to work and back, which, by the way, going to work and back may not be a concept in 100 years. Working from home is probably only going to get better. You're not going to need a car.
I actually want to add to that. I think forget the Uber thing, where people won't really need a car; they'll rely on Uber. I think the whole like working from home would be like so significant because we'll have like the VR headsets,
Oh man, you go
right?
super.
So now you have VR headsets, and say you're like, oh well, I have to inspect parts. Well, you could look at it in the VR headspace, right? You have robots in the factory; they're going to make it to your specifications and everything. But I think that if we implement that as well into like the workplace, like VR, I mean, obviously you're going to have to. Actually, no, even with medicine, you can have robots doing the surgeries. You have people that remotely control it, or you can have the robot do it all together, like by itself. But I think VR is going to be the biggest driving force, or even augmented reality being the biggest driving force in us working from home in many industries.
VR working from home.
Either virtual reality, actually, no, not virtual. It's gonna be augmented reality.
But
'Cause that's what
you
we're
don't
doing.
agree that we're not gonna have cars.
I think cars, like, I think forget owning a car and forget about Uber. We should have like flying cars or something else. Like, our entertainments are gonna change. We're not gonna have to go to a stadium to watch a basketball game. We could literally just watch it with our headsets, right? We could visit all these places in a whole different world.
You know what your favorite physicist said?
What? Wait, which one?
He
Don't
said,
say his name.
He said.
Which one?
He said. Listen. He said. We already have flying cars. They're called highways. When you have the same highway, that think about like the George Washington Bridge.
Yeah.
You have cars on the top level and cars on the bottom level. They're in the same X coordinate, right? But not in the same Y coordinates. That's flying cars.
Was this Neil deGrasse Tyson?
That is Neil deGrasse Tyson.
I knew it. Don't. He is, ladies and gentlemen. He is not my favorite physicist. I'm appalled that you said that.
He said that, and think about it, right? Flying cars are noisy. There's two, think of, like that's what a helicopter is, right? It's a flying
But we're
car.
gonna have electric. Where's the noise gonna be coming from?
The air.
Okay, but like
when you think about the helicopter, how loud it is not because of the engine; it's the propellers.
Yeah.
So you don't want that, especially with thinking places like Manhattan or where big skyscrapers are around.
But everything is electronic. Everything's electronic. Everything's gonna be running by itself.
You're going to have wind noise.
That's fine. We're gonna have windows that reduce that. This is the future we're talking about. We're gonna have windows that reduce
highways. What's the difference?
We're gonna have teleportation, and why do we need anything then? We just teleport places, teleport to work, teleport. But that's what I'm saying though. That's the thing with the future though. It's we're talking about cars and going to work, but is work gonna be a concept in terms of us going to work? I think not, because of our augmented reality headsets.
See, and that's the thing. So I think there's a lot of innovations that get out innovated.
Mm-hmm.
So going back to my example earlier, remember in iRobot with Will Smith where you had the robot driving the car?
Yeah.
Well, people then think, hey, have the car drive itself.
Yeah.
Cut the middle bit. Think about it with teleportation. Imagine when I can just teleport to work. What about working from home?
Yeah, exactly. Why are we making this thing?
Yeah.
Just bring work, into your
to you, right?
Yeah.
So now I just had an idea. Mm-hmm. Imagine that with everything. So imagine that with it's gonna be like room service everywhere. If you're hungry, McDonald's will deliver to you.
Yeah.
They'll send a bot out that self destructs, delivers you food. They have that in California.
Yeah.
The person they make the food, they put it in this little robot thing. The robot goes to the person's house, delivers it, and goes. We're gonna live in a Wall-E future. Everything's so
seamless,
convenient.
Yeah.
We're gonna drive on convenience and innovation. Okay, there's gonna be vending machines that again deliver to you.
Yeah.
Food's gonna be delivered to you. Medical services are gonna be delivered to you.
Yeah.
Think about it. Everything's gonna be Amazonified.
Yeah.
Amazon delivers cars to you now.
Yeah.
With Hyundai.
Let me ask you this: what do you think that means in the term in the sense of community? Because we're driving to work, we're seeing people, oh man, I had a bad day getting into work, this guy cut me off, or like all those like sort of small little things. Oh man, dude, I went to, the drive-thru at Dunkin', and a lady gave me a free donut, right? All these things. um if we're all going to be staying in our homes for work, for food, for entertainment, like I said, you could use the headset to watch a basketball game, right? What does that mean for community then? How, like, do we just see everyone like how you and I used to play Grand Theft Auto, right? We would just hang out in Grand Theft Auto because we weren't, we didn't have plans for the day,
You
right?
just answered your own question.
You think
The
we're gonna?
community is gonna be put upside its head.
Okay.
We're going to have online communities that drive most of what our in-person communities have been in the past. We're going to have people who value virtual real estate
Yeah.
more than physical real estate. We're going to have things that are worth more inside a video game than worth outside in real life. Think about the NFT stuff. Think about crypto.
Yep.
Think about Fortnite skins.
Yeah.
People 20 years ago would have never thought that you're going to pay after you bought a game, or whether you bought it or not, you're going to pay for a cosmetic in a video game.
Yeah.
Okay?
That has no benefit towards.
Which, by the way,
anything.
they've been offering cosmetics in video games forever.
Yeah.
Someone had the bright idea to start charging people for it.
Yeah.
It started with it started with Elder Scrolls being able to buy horse armor. then it went to like Counter-Strike and everywhere else.
Yeah.
So just like how it was a foreign idea 10 years ago, called 10, 20 years ago, for DLC and like buying cosmetics in a video game.
Yeah.
10, 20 years into the future now, we're going to be buying real estate. And that's already been happening.
Yeah.
I think IKEA has like a Roblox store in it. I think Nike has a Roblox store. Yeah. Like, that is going to be the future. Virtual real estate, virtual assets that outvalue physical assets, because your time is going to be spent less outside and more in the virtual world. So that sense of community, you're going to have to connect to. You don't go outside and go to that anymore. Like, my physical real estate now is going to be... It doesn't... I can take this and be in China, be anywhere. It doesn't matter. As long as I have an internet connection.
Yeah.
Because where I'm really going to want to hang out is in a Discord chat.
Yeah.
In an Xbox Live Party chat, PlayStation chat, wherever. Xbox Party chat. It's going to... That's where it's going to be. And by the way, COVID-19 just accelerated this whole thing. Because with the work from home, people are less outside. And because of that, mental health is being questioned with a lot of these people who can't find the value in their own lives because all they do is the same thing every day. There's so many ramifications for what's going to happen that I think only the next generation are going to be able to really understand it and like be able to adapt to. Yeah. Your little sister is already connected, and she's already has that upbringing of isolation in a way. Not to say she's like alone or anything, but like she's gonna find more comfort in being connected to her online community versus her friends at school.
No, 100%. That's like with any kid now, actually.
And it's scary, by the way.
Yeah.
Because I'm older and I had both.
Yeah.
Honestly, it happened with me. When I got Xbox Live, I totally abandoned my in-person friends. like they wanted me to go out. I'm like, listen, I'm playing Splinter Cell Chaos Theory. Yeah. I'm good. And then Splinter Cell turned into Gears of War, turned into Halo.
Grand Theft Auto.
Those were my communities. Those are my friends growing up. One of my online friends helped me get through my first breakup. Like, that's crazy if you think about it.
You know, speaking of stuff like that, I remember I had an online friend. We used to play Grand Theft Auto 4 together, and I used to write poetry at the time. I was like really huge into poetry, and he's like, "Yo, can you write me some poetry, bro? My girl broke up." I'm like, "Yeah, I got you, but what are you gonna give me?" And he got me Xbox. Remember the $20 like points card or something?
Oh
He
my
got me
God.
one of those. And you know what I did with it? I bought Minecraft with it when it released on the Xbox. But
That's,
that
you
being
bought the
said,
greatest game of all time.
no, 100%, dude. That I remember when you and I were on that game with like a bunch of other friends. It was revolutionary. But I think for people like us at least, I know people in our age range probably can't relate to it, but I feel like with you and I, we grew up in that like real world and the cyber world with video games, right? I really do hope this innovation comes within my lifetime. Like I can only imagine how amazing it could be, right? After seeing like Ready Player One, you're like, oh my god, dude, like you could be in a virtual world. Like, what would be the point of even traveling to going to Hawaii or traveling to go to like some beautiful island or somewhere in Iceland, right? You could travel like anything because you could code whatever. You can go to like a different planet every day, right? Um, I mean, if those things are gonna be monetized, that's for a different discussion, different debate, whatever, whoever's controlling that stuff, right? But I think if that's where the future is going, it's gonna be very innovative. It's gonna be so different that whatever we're thinking now, it's not even gonna be like we're not even gonna be like able to comprehend it.
Agreed. It's sad.
It's sad, exciting though.
Anyways, I think we should cut it off here. Thank you everyone for watching. We'll have more of this. Please like and subscribe. Anything else?
Peace out. I couldn't think of anything.
All right.